Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. Not too long ago, I found out that Macklemore won a Grammy for Best Rap Album of the Year. And I was disappointed because given the competition, I thought that someone else should win. You had Jay-Z, you had Drake, you had Kendrick Lamar. And actually, I think Kendrick Lamar should have won the Grammy for Best Rap Album of the Year. I mean, given all the recognition that Kendrick Lamar received last year as one of the greatest MCs of the day, uh, legendary rap artists recognized his lyrical ability, and even his peers recognized his ability. And, there was a lot of buzz around him uh, because he put out a song where he basically challenged a lot of MCs. And that helped even heighten his acclaim and his fame and everything. So I think that overall he should have received the award. But this seems to be a reflection of a trend in music. You know, African Americans created blues, African Americans created rock and roll, African Americans created jazz. But over time, those art forms began to become whiter and whiter, and And over time, the white artists received far more recognition for the art form than the African American founders of the art form. So it's like African Americans got lost in the shuffle and our legacy was basically stolen. And that's what's happening with hip hop. In a few years, eventually hip hop may become a white dominated art form. And we will lose one of our few outlets to express ourselves. You know, in many ways, we have become a voiceless people, and hip hop was one of the few outlets where the urban communities were able to express everything. We were able to express our fears, our hopes, our aspirations, our sorrows, and our happiness. We were able to express our suffering and many of the plight and problems in our community. We were able to discuss those through hip hop. And it seems like that avenue is closing. Not only because of the influx of more white artists and these white artists receiving far more recognition than the African American founders of the art form, but it's also because of the commercialization of hip hop. There was a time when hip hop was truly a voice of the people. It was truly a voice of the people, but now it's become a commercial commodity that is sold. It's no longer an art form, it's a commodity. And instead of selling us consciousness or um, knowledge, it is selling us death and destruction. It is selling us misogyny. It is selling us drugs. It is selling us violence. And, that's a sign of the decline of this art form. And, I just wanted to say, a few words about that, just to express my frustration with the fact that African Americans are losing one of our last outlets to express our opinions and our views about the world. And it's a shame to see that we were the founders of this art form, but yet we are not receiving the kind of recognition that we deserve. And there is no way that Macklemore should have won this award over somebody like Kendrick Lamar. Just like taking aside the whole issue of race, just based on the skills and talents of the artist when you compare the two. I think that Kendrick Lamar is far more talented as an MC than Macklemore. But, that's the trend. I mean, instead of African Americans or instead of the community that developed the art form making the decision, you have outsiders basically deciding what represents hip hop. It's like we are losing the right to determine our own destiny and to define for ourselves our own art form because you have outsiders deciding who is the best rap artist. And, that's just simply unacceptable. And I'll just finish on this note. not only is this an issue of race, but it's also an issue about the direction of hip hop. At one point, hip hop was an expression of black masculinity, of black manhood. But now, given the message in one of Macklemore's songs about homosexuality and promoting homosexual lifestyles and stuff like that, it seems like that's going to eventually be a dominant voice in hip hop. It's going to become less masculine. It's going to eventually become more and more gay. And that's going to be the demise of hip hop, because hip hop was like one of the few outlets where African Americans could truly express their manhood and their strength and their courageousness and boldness. But now it's going to be watered down, and it's going to be more and more feminine and more gay. And we see signs of that. I mean, there was a point where they had a few major hip hop artists wearing skirts like women. They had African American artists wearing leggings like women. So it's just getting more and more feminized. And as that happens, hip hop is further and further declining. It's going to decline to the point where it's not going to even be hip hop. It's not going to be an urban art form anymore. It's not going to be an African American art form. It's not going to be recognizable. And I just fear that this is the beginning of the end of hip hop.